O'Reilly!
It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. Our professional parts people will test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
With Kroger brand products from Baker's, you can make all your favorite things this holiday season. Because Kroger brand's proven quality products come at exceptionally low prices. And with a money-back quality guarantee, every dish is sure to be a favorite.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Whether you shop delivery, pickup, or in-store, Kroger brand has all your favorite things. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Hey, it's Christine from Storyworthy. Today on the show, comedian Joe Manente talks about a day of substitute teaching that he'll never forget.
The phone rings and I pick it up and I'm like, oh, hey, well, Coach Dan, how are you doing? And it's, you need to report to the swimming pool immediately. And I'm like, well, what seems to be the problem is just get down here immediately. And I'm like, I froze up. There's just, there's 30 kids standing looking in horror out at this swimming pool. And I'm going, Jesus Christ, this is horrendous, And I look out across the swimming pool and I'm expecting to see two dead children, just floating in the shallow end of the pool. And it's just so much worse.
Today on Storyworthy, comedian Joe Manente talks about a day substitute teaching that he'll never forget. In fact, none of us will. Stay close.
Hey, this is Joe Manente, and you're listening to Storyworthy. Explosion!
Wait, do it one more time. Just the real one. Explode.
All right. Explosion!
Storyworthy. My name is Christine Blackburn, and I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Whether you're a longtime fan of the show or a new listener, welcome to Storyworthy. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the story last week with comedian Felicia Michaels. You know Felicia, Joe, right?
I don't think I do, actually. I've probably seen her.
But you know of her.
Heard the name.
Yeah, totally, because she's a big comic at the Comedy Store.
Nice.
And she was talking about the Comedy Store and it being haunted.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And she told two pretty intense stories.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and one just happened last year. And so it was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
It was very good. So go back and listen to that, you guys. But not today, because today I'm here with Joe Manente, and he's a comedian. But have you ever felt anything in the Comedy Store, hauntings-wise?
No, I don't. I've never felt anything there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I haven't spent that. I've never been there alone by myself.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
late at night. Just because of the history of the place, not just the comedians, not just like Kinnison's energy alone could probably flip and set the place on fire.
The place has an atmosphere about it. I'll say that. It has a definite feel to it.
So it's not just like Kinnison, Pryor, George Carlin, not just those guys, but it's the fact that it was Ciro's in the 40s and 50s.
Oh, yeah, it goes way back before that.
A mobster restaurant.
Yeah, they killed people in that place, right? Where the main room is. Yeah.
Well, so now that's what I'm talking about. So if that's not a place to be haunted, what is?
I don't know. Yeah. So her stories weren't about comedians; they were about just people
hauntings.
Yeah,
like
just haunting.
Felicia. Like they podcast now out of the Comedy Store, out of the basement downstairs.
Oh, okay.
And she says, like, if she forgets her purse down there or something, she like runs down the steps, grabs that purse, and runs the hell up those steps, man. And just that feeling of that. I don't know, man. But
impending doom and dread.
There's something about it. And then also the place, though, is like on fire. Like the place is really like doing super well right now.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I think I'm going to wake up and it's going to be burned down to the ground. Just because of
it could be.
It seems dilapidated in ways. And then other times I see it like sold out 3 shows in a row. Like they're booming.
I think this will be the last time this place does well. That place does well.
I wonder.
I think that whatever they're doing, like once Bill Burr Joe Rogan and those guys like get older because they're almost 60 years old now and
Right.
become less relevant. I think that, as popular, it's almost hard. But I mean, I remember before it was cool to be there. You know what I mean?
Well, it's always been cool to be there. There was a slump in the 90s with alternative
yeah,
comedy.
yeah. But I mean, it wasn't like like it is now. You know what I mean? It is. I think it's doing great, and I enjoy the place. I always have fun
Yeah.
when I go there. But I'm just saying, like, it all goes up and down, and I don't think that it will ever get this high ever again.
Yeah, it's
I think-
really
yeah.
on fire.
It's totally on fire, and I think that once the fire starts to burn a little bit lower, I don't think that it will ever come back to what it is now. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's gone.
Wow.
That's
Those
my
are big
thought.
words, man.
Yeah, I'm not wishing it.
Yeah.
These are just my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
now you're just talking about the store, not comedy in general.
I'm just talking about the store. Exactly.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like up there on the Sunset Strip, there's so many new high rises, so many new buildings.
Yeah.
It just seems like at some point they're going to say to Mitzi Shore's family, "We'll give you
they're going to give an offer they can't refuse.
They're going to
Yeah,
give you an offer
yeah.
they can't refuse.
Right, and it won't.
truly.
Yeah, and it'll be like right now. It seems like that's ridiculous because so many stars are going there.
Yeah.
But like maybe in 5 years,
Money is money.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, it's not as big as it was 5 years ago, and well, whatever, that Biodome money isn't coming in anymore, so we better, sell this thing while we can. Who knows? I don't know. A lot of things can happen.
There's a lot of different things that can happen,
Yeah.
and you just never know.
I could be totally wrong, but that's just my feeling. I just.
It's interesting. The store has a certain energy that the Improv doesn't seem to have,
Yeah.
and the Laugh Factory doesn't either. I mean,
That's right.
sometimes and on certain nights, but there's just something about the Comedy Store. There's no
It
doubt
is.
about it. Yeah.
Oh, I love the place. It's really fun to go there.
Now you are from California. You're the one.
I'm a California dude.
You're the one. Yeah.
I know.
Well, my daughter, she's going to officially be
Yeah.
from California, and that kind of cracks me up because, I'm
Yeah.
from Pittsburgh, my whole family's from back east. So to think that my daughter is being raised in Los Angeles
Yeah.
to me is sort of. Sometimes it just sort of blows my mind.
Yeah.
And now she's a teenager, so I have to think about keeping her safe and keeping her. You know what I mean? It's not like where I grew up. My mother let us out of the house at 9 a.m.,
Uh-huh.
rang the cowbell to come in for dinner at 5, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
No cell phones, no anything. But now, of course, there's so much technology. And Joe, I know you don't have kids, but I got
Yeah.
Alabama, and you would not give your kid a
Oh,
bike
yeah.
without a helmet.
Oh, I'm
And
with
you wouldn't let him drive in your car without a seatbelt. So you can't give him all this technology without somehow watching them. So let me just tell you something. From
I
my
would
perspective,
agree, yeah.
from my perspective, it's like I could just check my daughter's emails. I could go through her emails, or I could go through her texts, or I could kind of spy on her. Or I just found something called Bark. Bark is the text solution created by parents for parents, and it keeps close to 5 million kids safer online. Here's what Bark does. They'll give you automatic alerts to signs of cyberbullying, depression, online predators, adult content, and more. And they give you the best recommended steps for how to address if this shows up on your kid's phone. It's trusted by over 1,900 school districts nationwide, and Bark is absolutely free for any school. But if you want it for your family, it's only $9 a month. Just head over to bark.us now to start your free trial. But for Storyworthy listeners, you will get a whole month free. Just head over to bark.us now to start your free trial. Head over to bark.us, sign up, and use the promo code STORY. You will get a whole month free. Okay, so we're going to get to your story in a second here, Joe. You bring forth the topic teaching special ed.
Yes.
So it's interesting, teaching special ed. I taught handicapped students how to ski for a couple of seasons in Colorado. I like to get my ski pass.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good for you. You've done a lot in Blackbird. You've
have
had some interesting jobs. You're a factotum. You're like in Bukowski country here, and you have a, yeah.
Well, I'm 84 years old, and it's been a while.
You look great.
But I did teach. I taught kids that had Down syndrome to ski, and
Yes.
also blind children to ski.
Oh my God, the
And
blind. Yeah.
That's interesting, yeah, because you basically.
What was harder, the blind or the Down syndrome?
They both had challenges. But I mean, the blind is, you click your ski poles behind yourself and they follow the sound of your ski poles. So click, 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 click.
Oh
And then
my
they listen.
God.
They're listening. Yeah, so you
And
don't
that
want to.
works?
Yeah, of course it works. No, I head off into the forest and they never see me again. Yes, it works. Anyway, so I have a little bit of experience teaching special ed. I do know, there's some special ed kids in my child's classroom, of course, and they have they have like a teacher's assistant or somebody with
Yes.
them all at all
Yes.
times. It's important.
They have to, yeah.
Yeah, they have to. My the little girl in my daughter's class is not very verbal, and and also she'll just wander off. She'll just
Yeah,
leave.
a lot of wandering.
So she'll just leave. So she has to have somebody with her, and I'm grateful to that person when I see them on field trips and
Yes,
stuff. They're
yes.
actually just another adult in the classroom, which is also nice. So I'm all for the special ed. I'm anxious to hear your song. I'm anxious.
It is a song.
I'm anxious
it's a
to
symphony,
hear,
actually.
I'm anxious
yes.
to hear your story. Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about because you're also a musician.
Yeah, yeah.
But you played a lot of music.
Yeah, I played a lot of rock and roll music, and at the time I worked for LA Unified School District as a substitute teacher, as a lot of people do to make ends meet.
Sure,
you know.
sure.
And I was doing special ed for a whole semester as a sub, and I was totally underqualified, but they didn't care. They were, they just
people.
needed people.
Okay,
And
okay.
So yeah.
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to talk to you about, of course, is fourth wall comedy.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
you invented.
Yeah.
You created. I mean, I'm just saying but to rent any kind of storefront in LA. It just kind of baffles my mind.
Oh, yeah.
How it even comes down.
Yeah.
And so you chose. Which one was the first one?
North Hollywood.
And how did you choose? How did you choose that space?
Well, I used to run a moving company, moving as in moving furniture, not
Sure.
movie, to be specific. And I did that for 7 years, Joe's Movers
Wow.
LA. And, I sold the business. And right before I sold it, I started doing open mics in that office space. And I built that little theater that's out there. Have you been to
I
there?
haven't been to that
Oh,
one.
yeah. Well, it's the crappiest one, but it's also the original. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like if you're talking about the atmosphere at the Comedy Store. As far as like the fourth walls go, that's the creepy one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it also has the history, and it's also kind of cool in its own grungy way.
What year did you open that?
16. Yeah.
2016.
16.
And what made
yeah.
you call it Fourth Wall?
Well, it's just all my favorite comedy movies have fourth wall breaks in, like Mel Brooks. Wayne's World.
You mean when they
Austin
stop
Powers.
when they stop and look at the camera
And talk
address-
to the
address-
audience.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then there's the metaphor stuff of breaking down they're breaking the fourth wall, and it's breaking down a boundary.
Sure.
Even if that's within yourself, you know what I mean? To push past whatever is just obvious and get on to something that really means something.
So you got out of music.
Yeah.
What was the name of the band, by the way?
My last band that people would remember is the Glory Stompers, and I mean nobody
Yeah.
would remember it, but
Okay, so you went from music to comedy.
I did, and I went from music to comedy. I was playing, I did Second City touring company, and once I was doing that and the band, and then when I got back, I just did music, and then once the band broke up, I just did stand up after that. Yeah.
Well,
So
there
that's-
is a lot in common with being a rock star and being a comedy
big
star.
time. Yeah.
Big time,
Yeah.
because there's so much power coming out of one body.
Yeah.
And
if
then,
you're doing it right.
it's hard in terms of doing it in a band way because you got to count on these other people.
That's true.
And all these other personalities,
Yes.
and then nobody's ever on the same page. I mean, or hardly. I mean, it's really hard to get everybody on the same page to make enough money to be able to concentrate on the work.
Man. Yeah, it's just
So
like
comedy, you can be your own band,
that.
essentially.
Big time.
Yeah. And so who came up with slotted comedy? And I'm dying for you to explain this for the audience because a lot of people don't understand this.
Well, yeah, if you're a comedian and in LA, you'll get this, and if not, if you're not, it's kind of look into what regular comics have to go through. I used to run the first fourth wall mic was just in North Hollywood, 8:00, first come first serve every day, and that's what it was. It was a
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
So you created the club for people to come in only to do comedy, only comics, or was this for the public?
It was for whoever wanted to. It was an open mic. That's
Yeah.
it. Only comedians showed up, and it
Because
was
the public really wouldn't know about it.
no. There's
Right.
no way. It's like behind a dumpster. You should see where
Yeah.
the North Hollywood
I
space
can't
is.
wait.
It's disgusting. But it's in a strip mall in NoHo with a
Yeah.
7-Eleven. You've
Yeah.
driven past a million of
Yeah.
them. It's very easy to miss. Okay, so I'm in there, and it was slow. I mean, I still have all the sign-up sheets from every single day. 3 people showed up the first day, and I was very happy for that. And
Yeah.
then 4 people showed up, and then 3 people showed up, and then no one showed up, and then 6 people showed up, and then after a month, I was getting like 10, 11 people a night, and we'd do an hour and have fun and whatever. And then over a year's time, it caught on, and about 25 people were showing up a night, and they were showing up at 7 o'clock to be the first person up at 8 o'clock.
Right.
And I'm going, oh, well, I know what I can do here. And that's how slotted is a misnomer. That's completely arbitrary. It's not like you sign up for slotted as an open mic function on it. It's slotted was just I just chose that because it was the only booking system online that you could get that just had a list of names.
Oh,
and
so
you could see the name.
Slotted is the name of...
Just a booking software.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so interesting.
Yeah, it has nothing to do. It's an hourly miking system.
Yeah.
If the people that came to the fourth wall at the beginning of 18 which is when I switched it over to that block scheduling system, they just called me and I wrote it down.
Yeah.
And the slotted just looks most like what my notebook looked like for what I was doing.
Sure.
And that's the only reason it's slotted.
People can't get their head around why people would do this, but to me,
Yeah.
it makes all the sense in the world. I have a child. I can't go out at night and get a babysitter and maybe get up and
Right.
open mic. I have to
Yeah.
schedule it, and I guess that's where I'm thinking of the word slotted.
Right.
I have to slot myself in that hour, and I don't mind at all that everybody's not drunk and it's not
No.
dark and it's not a club. That doesn't matter.
No, you need to just get it's a place to work out. You know what I mean? For people that aren't comedians listening to this, what it is you first come first serve, or a lottery mic where they just pull your name out of a hat. You'd have to wait around for 2 or 3 hours for everybody to get through. If there's 25 signups,
And you might not get called.
and sometimes you might not get called. And then if you get called at the end, everybody would leave.
Yes.
So you wait the longest, you perform for the least amount of people, and it's like, how do you grow doing that?
Really
You know,
hard.
what I mean, it's very
Really
hard.
hard.
So what we do at Fourth Wall is, you come. You have to stay, but you have to stay to watch everybody, but it's only 9 people, and you have to stay for 50 minutes only.
It moves so quickly.
And it moves quick, and you're done.
Yeah, it moves very quickly.
Yeah.
To me, it's like an acting class. You know what I mean? It's a workout. It makes all the sense in the world to me. And for me personally, a lot of it is just getting the words out
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
the right order.
Yeah.
Even if people aren't paying attention. And if you do get a laugh, you feel damn good about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So no, absolutely. You really have to engage, because people are, they're thinking about their own stuff, and you really have to kind of get them. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. But,
You are very kind about paying attention. You're really good.
Well,
and
yeah,
very. A good team player, as it were.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm there. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Pretend like I'm,
Yeah.
I might as well be invested in what's
Yeah, I
happening.
love it. I
makes
love
it go by much quicker for me.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Does anybody ever blow your mind anymore that you
Yeah.
haven't seen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And somebody comes in and they're just
Everybody is blowing my mind all the time.
that's great.
Honestly, no, I'm serious. Just the level of determination that people have on a weekly basis, is on a daily basis. They're coming in, and they're just even if they're repeating the same thing over and over again, I'm like just shocked at how much drive and the attention to detail that they have, and they're trying different things, and and some people are nuts, and that's kind of shocking also. And then what also shocks me is the people that are opening up for Norm Macdonald and Tom Segura,
full on, yeah.
and Joey Diaz, and these people, they're opening. They're the ones in there that they go the most.
Yeah, they still come. Yeah,
and
of
I'm just
course,
you guys
'cause they're
don't need
getting
to
up,
be
it's
here.
getting up.
You're gonna be fine. They don't believe that. They. And
That's intense.
that shocks me. And then people that are just trying for the first. It's
But
all.
you
blown
know
my
how
mind.
it is, though.
Yeah.
Comedy is addictive, and it
Yeah.
gets to be like therapy a little bit.
Yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah.
there's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm so happy I met you when I met
Likewise,
you, and I'm
Christine,
happy
yeah.
to work out down there. I really have a good
Yeah.
time.
You're doing wonderful work down
I'm
there.
trying, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
No, I know, but we don't. That's part of it. We can't always put our best foot forward down there, but that's the whole point of it.
Yeah,
you know
I
what I
know,
mean.
I know.
It's a place where you can. it's a safe space to really just kind of I shouldn't say that. There is no such thing as a safe space, so forget that. But it's a place where you can be more comfortable. You're not showcasing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
everybody knows the stakes. The stakes aren't high because
No.
you're just all there. And if you can't, you're working out. You
you're
truly
working
are
out.
working
Yeah.
out.
So you have
Yeah.
it's a free room.
So the improv now does it on Sundays.
Yeah.
And the Flappers does it Sunday afternoons. Improv does it Sunday nights.
They do an hourly mic?
They started just last night, I believe, 7 to 8 o'clock. Or maybe it's 8 to 9, and then they start the other open mic.
Oh,
So they're
really?
doing a slotted, in the lab, because my friend Wendy hosted it last night.
I didn't realize that.
Well, it just started Sunday night. I know. And Flappers does it Sunday
I know.
afternoons.
Well, Joshua Snyder has been coming to Fourth Wall for a long time, and he's the one in charge of those decisions. That's I guess it's flattering.
It's flattering.
Yeah.
But it's just also interesting that you came up with that idea because it's so smart.
Yeah, you're sweet. Thank you.
It is. It's really smart. And then you teach some comedy too, right?
Yeah, I got a class. I'm trying to get a class. I've watched so much of it. You know
I
what
know,
I mean?
of course.
I've watched. I've watched more stand up. I've watched more sets of stand up comedy than any person that's ever lived. At this point, it's true, Christine. I watched almost.
I believe you.
Yeah, I watched in 2018. I know it's funny. I watched roughly at a minimum 15,000 sets. Yeah, I did the math. It's about 50 a night I took very few days off. For like 345 days. It was a lot.
You got to take a vacation, man.
Yeah.
You need a
I
vacation.
will. But
you know what Fourth Wall has done for me is it's made my storytelling because I do some storytelling
You
stuff
do.
and it's a different thing, but comedy makes me a lot better storyteller because now I cut to the meat of it. It's all about that brevity.
You've been doing great at your improv mics because you were kind of at bucket anxiety.
Oh, I was.
But now you don't give a shit. It's
no,
great.
I don't care. You can tell me anything. It's kind of like Story Smash in that, there's topics being pulled and you're riffing on it. You don't know what's going to come up. But with Story Smash, the comics, before they come on my show, they know 12 of the topics.
Okay.
There's 16 spaces. They know 12 of them.
Yeah.
So there's good chance it's going to land on something they've already thought about.
Okay.
Of course, at Fourth Wall, when you do the bucket, you're just pulling out anything.
Anything, yeah. It's the worst things. Jesus Christ.
People are so wild, man. And then when I first started doing that, I thought to myself, well, I don't really want to work out of a bucket because if they pull out sexually transmitted diseases, it's like, what? Nobody's going to ever yell that out to me at the Improv or at the Comedy Store where I'm really performing. So why do I care now? But now I get it.
Yeah.
That it has nothing to do with the topic. It's your feeling about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's riffing on how to get better at who your voice is to begin with.
Bam, you got it.
It took so long to figure that out.
Well, who cares? You got there. What's the difference?
All right, you guys. Listen, before we get to Joe's story, I did want to remind you to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Storyworthy. You know this. And also head over to storyworthypodcast.com because you should join my mailing list. It comes up right away. It's one of those pop-up things. You join the mailing list. I send you one quick note every Tuesday, and that's it. But we can stay connected, and I give you free tickets and stuff like that. So why not? You know what I mean? And, also, I know, follow Story Smash on Instagram. That's what I want you to do because that's where all the game pictures are and shots from the game show. So it's super fun and nothing political in there, nothing adverse, just all game show fun. Yay. All right, you guys, he's here right now, Joe Manente. He is a comedian and a musician like we talked about and the owner of Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe, which is just, like I said, it's just it's kind of a little bit of a revolution happening.
I know, it's getting crazy.
It's kind of neat, man.
Yeah.
It's a comedy revolution.
Yeah.
And you really have a lot to teach a lot of people. I find it amazing that you're really a comic at heart, but now you're in the business of comedy.
Yeah. The industry is really more interesting to me right now than the performing
That's
aspect of it.
fascinating.
And I love to perform. I love it. I really
Yeah.
have a good time with it, but I'm really more inspired by industries and the way that they function and stuff like that.
Did you ever know if like Mitzi Shore or Bud Friedman or Mark Lano or the guy at the Laugh Factory, did those guys ever do comedy? Those guys?
Mitzi's husband was a
Oh, that's right,
stand-up.
Sammy Shore. Yeah,
Sammy
of
Shore.
course.
But no, Bud, the guy from the improv, I mean, you're down at the improv all the time, but like he's famous for giving like horrible, dry introductions and like yeah,
terrible.
Yeah. Mitzi was not a comedian, and I think she got it. I guess I mean, she picked a lot of
and
really.
Jamie Masada at the Laugh Factory.
Oh yeah, Jamie's a horrendous comedian. Apparently, I'm only extrapolating that back from things that I've heard. I don't really know. I've never seen the guy. He's an interesting character, you know what I mean?
Is.
So like that goes a long way. He's got a persona for sure.
Yeah,
but
he
like
does.
those seasoned comics, I don't even know the guy, and who am I to say? But like like Bill Burr and all those guys are always constantly giving him crap, just for. Just being like, oh, you criticized me and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You've never even been on. But
Jamie Masada, he does that. Like he has these open mics on Tuesday, and then he'll give the comics, a note about their comedy. But the note is never that like full, as it were.
Right.
Like it's always just kind of like, no, you're not ready, or you have no point of view, and kind of
that can work. That's but
so anyway, so people, kind of just because Jamie has put himself out there, but I think to myself, well, my gosh, nobody else is doing that for you, so why not?
No,
if you don't want the criticism, then don't stick around.
Exactly.
Whatever.
And, hey, he saw you. You went there to get seen, and that's where it is.
Yeah.
When you fuck up really badly, or if you don't have a point of view, or I've noticed you just get forgotten. It's nothing. Which is almost worse.
It's so true. Oh my gosh, my friend Hannes Finney always said that to me. He goes, first of all,
you're not don't remember.
Yeah, you're not as good as you think, and you're not as bad as you think.
True.
So that's good. But also, as soon as you walk off stage, nobody remembers anything you said, unless you've got a Netflix special, or maybe you have a name of sorts. Anyway, you guys can find Joe over on Instagram at Fourth Wall TV. All right, you guys, whoever you are, put your hands together for Joe Manente.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, so I, as Christine was saying earlier, I used to work in special education. I was a substitute teacher for the Los Angeles Unified School District while I was playing in a band, and I got this assignment one day. It said CBI, and I was like, okay, I don't really know what that is, but I definitely need a day of work. So I'm driving out to Van Nuys to do this. You know what I mean? This was at Balboa High School. I think it's a charter school now. It's not even a part of LA Unified, but at the time they had this CBI. Thing. And I'm like, oh my God, all right, well, I'll go check it out. And so I'm walking down the hall. I got my assignment card, and, I checked the doors there, and there it is, CBI, and it says the full thing out, community-based integration. And I'm like, okay, well, what is that? And I walk in, and it is, it's just floor to ceiling special needs people. You know what I mean? And I was preparing myself for, basically anything, but it was overwhelming, you know what I mean? Because, you never know what you're going to walk into with LA Unified. It could be gangs. It could be like a class of all pregnant girls, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I had these other experiences, but this was like really crazy because it was a mixed bag of like special needs. It wasn't just autistic. It wasn't just deaf. It wasn't just Down syndrome. It was 32 people with, all those things. You know what I mean?
What is your education, first of all? Is it in special education?
Well, in a sense it is theater arts. I mean, I had to deal with some neurotic people, but nothing on the level of this. You know what I mean?
So you didn't go to college for
No.
Wow.
This is LA Unified. They're just happy you show up, which is the level that I operate on. I have to have a job where that's why I work for myself now. Is at the time, I need to have a job where they're just happy that you showed up, because any details beyond that, I'm not going to be able to like really follow through. So, LA Unified substitute that you just show up, they're stoked.
You're breathing.
I'm there. They're not checking in on you. It's just like, is everyone alive? Great, you're fine. Okay, so this is a good job for me. So I walk into this place, and that's what it is, and it's 32 disabled people, and they're adult helpers. Thank God. So I wasn't alone, and it was overwhelming. They were trying to walk me through the routines of the day and everything, because that's all CBI is just building routines and helping these people function on a daily basis. Sure. And it was a great program. It was really, really kind of the pride of the school. I started to find out. It was the biggest. I mean, it was just. That's normally especially with like 9 people. This is like a big classroom full of people. Yeah, so and severely handicapped people. You know what I mean? And it was was overwhelming at first, but I got used to it, and I got to know all these people, and I had another co-sub who had been there a little longer than me, and they were like more in charge than I was, but it was still overwhelming. And really, where my story kind of really begins is there was a day where this person, was sick, and I kind of had to do everything by myself.
The co-teacher.
The co-teacher was ill, and I mean
So how many days were you with these kids?
I was there for about 3 weeks before I had to go in alone, so not very long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's long for subbing, but it's not long for like real teaching.
Yeah, working.
So yeah, I had to get in there, and my thing with the class was always like, I understood the importance of the routines and everything, but like at a certain point, it would just get like, oh my God, the day would just drag on and on and on. It's just because, like there was just all these protocols that you have to do step by step, and and if you went out of order, then the kids would have a breakdown. I mean, they got used to that routine. What I mean, but at the same time, it would take forever. It's like, why do these people have to go to the bathroom at the, it was...
But isn't their helper with them? Doesn't the helper know who the child is?
Yes, and this is where it got crazy, because the two kids that I ended up being really close with, but were these kids, David and Andre. They both had Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. They were 19, 20 years old, but they had the maturity of like a 3-year-old. Mm-hmm. They had no language, but they were sweet, you know what I mean? And they very, I mean, severely mentally retarded Down syndrome, what I mean, with with the, oh my God, they had a personal person named Patty. She was from Brooklyn, like a 70-year-old woman. She used to tease me all the time because I would stare at these kids, you know what I mean? Like, not rudely, but she'd catch me, like, it's like a lot to take in. To look at a person with Down syndrome, everybody looks, Christine.
I know. I mean, but yeah, because it's like, what can I do for these people?
Yeah, you see that they're vulnerable, and then oh my God! But they had the whole. I mean, they just had like every bad thing. I mean, oh man,
they're in wheelchairs.
No wheelchair for the Down syndrome people, but yeah, David and Andre. And they were like just really good buddies, and they had their own little connection or whatever, and they just were inseparable. You know what I mean? And Patty would catch me staring at their hands and stuff like, oh, you like David and Andre's sausage finger? Hey, Pam, I caught Joe looking at David and Andre's sausage fingers over here. And it was, he teased me about it, you know what I mean? People in special ed, they tease
one another, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
that's good, they have to.
And I was embarrassed because I hadn't been there for very long. Yeah. So it was embarrassing for me. Wasn't embarrassing for them at all, you know what I mean? Like it's just part of their daily thing. So
yeah, they have to.
They have to joke about it to get through it, you know what I mean? And
it's like if you work in a funeral parlor,
right.
People are going to... I'm sure they mess around with the bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way it was, and they were very comfortable with it. But, like David's like big forehead and Andre's the weird teeth and the drooling and stuff. I mean, it was affecting me. I was like kind of, it was hard for me, to get used to it. And I did. And they were, I'm a jerk off or whatever. But so the day that this girl was out, it was, flu season or whatever. Patty was not there, and I'm like, all right, it's my chance. I'm going to do this. We're going to do the routines, but we're going to cut a couple of these steps out. It's not necessary. And the only reason that these kids came to class is because they wanted to. David and Andre wanted to go to swimming class. That was it. That was their main operation. They lived and died by swimming class. If you could take away swimming class, you could get them to do anything. Okay, so you have power over them. All right. So they always had to go and get. They had to get dressed separately every day. You know what I mean? Every day dressed routine. David, then Andre, and that's it. And then they go to swimming class at fourth period, and that was their day. And so I'm going, you guys are going at the same time. Your person's not here. Just, you guys know each other. Just take care of this together, all right? And we can maybe get out of class by, 2:00 today instead of 5 p.m. You know what I mean? So I sent them, and they're fine. They come back. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? I'm like, I knew that it's like, this is okay. So just go to swimming class. You guys going to be okay? They give me the okay. And it's like 100 yards walk. I watch them for as long as I can. I watch them go in the gate. And they get to the swimming pool, and it's like, okay, they're fine.
And they're with another teacher now
they're
whatever.
They're with another teacher,
Sure.
Okay, so I start teaching the 4th period class, which was, how to brush your teeth or whatever. Something that I can handle. I was, I had a lot of anxiety writing on the chalkboard and stuff like that, because I make bad spelling errors, a big dyslexia, you know what I mean? So I had a lot of, like the kids would be like, that's not how you spell experience. I'm like, but this class, very comfortable teaching them how to, floss and do whatever. That was at my level. So 30 minutes passes, and I didn't even think about the boys. And then the phone rings, and I pick it up, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, Coach Dan, how are you doing?" And it's, "Oh, you need to report to the swimming pool immediately." And I'm like, "Well, what seems to be the problem? Is just get down here immediately?" And I'm like, I froze up, you know what I mean? And I just. I'm like, it just kind of all hit me. I would have been overwhelmed all day long. It's like, no, you can't send 2 special people to the pool unsupervised, you idiot. And then I started to catastrophize it. I didn't even think. And then I left 30 people in the room alone and just sprinted down the hallway to the swimming pool. And I'm just going, oh my God, like you're an idiot. Like, not only are you going to lose your job for doing this, because you can't do that, you are going to be locked up for negligence. I mean, this is like a horrible thing to do. And I could see the pool's evacuated.
My God.
Yeah. No, pool's evacuated. There's just, there's 30 kids standing looking in horror out at this swimming pool. And I'm going, Jesus Christ, this is horrendous. Now I gotta fight my way through this crowd of kids. And I look out across the swimming pool, and I'm expecting to see 2 dead children, just floating in the shallow end of the pool. And I'm like preparing myself emotionally to see this. And I look out there, and it's just so much worse. It is David fucking Andre in his ass. Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah. No, nothing. I'm telling you right now. And they were locked together, and I was screaming at them, damn it, stop it! locked together. Oh, it was horrific. It was horrific. Nothing can prepare you for that.
Were they in the water?
They were in they were in like 3 feet of water, just plowing. The kid was getting plowed. You know what I mean? Oh, it was disgusting. It was horrible.
So, what did you?
I was screaming at them.
Have their bathing suits off?
No. They're not completely off. Just around the.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a real opportunity. I mean,
and everybody was watching.
Everybody was watching.
So they had already been told stop, uncouple.
I was screaming at them to stop. Okay, it meant nothing to them. It meant nothing to them. Their love is strong. Their love was strong.
Did you have any idea they were a couple?
No. So I had to get into the pool with with Coach Dan, who played water polo for UCLA. We couldn't separate them. We could not separate these 2. It was horrible. It was like watching a shark attack. You just have to watch it until it's over with. You know what I mean? Like,
let them finish.
You just gotta let them finish, and they finished. Oh my God, it was terrible. And then they started making out, and that was grosser than the butt fucking. I'm telling you, just the 2 faces. Oh, it was disgusting.
And what happened? You got him out of the pool. You said, "Stop it! Stop it!"
I was screaming. Everybody was horrified. They felt bad for me, and I had to. Yeah. Well, it gets worse after that. So then I got to write up an incident report about this fucking whole thing. I'm telling you. This is almost worse than watching it. Because you have to write out in 3rd person, Christine. Mr. Manente observed this. You were a flight attendant.
Yeah.
You know how
the rules. Yeah.
Rules. So you write it out in 3rd person. And then I did that. It took me a while. And I'm trying to wrap my head around this. And then I had to call their parents, who are first generation Catholic immigrant Hispanic parents, and tell them that not only are their sons, it's hard enough to have any child, let alone a disabled, and now they're going to find out their sons have homosexual tendencies on top of that.
No wonder that they enjoyed swimming so much.
They loved it. Yeah, there was their time to frolic around together.
I wonder if that happened before.
Well, I'm getting to that.
What did Patty say? Okay.
So I go up to the dean's office with this incident report and the two boys, and he's so proud of this community-based integration program. You know what I mean? So every time he sees these kids, he's always like, "Oh, David, Andre, it's so good to see you." You know, and so I go up to him. It's this typical greeting. "Oh, well, look at you guys, you little rascals." You know what I mean? And I'm just like, "Oh my god." I hand him the paper. You know, he's looking at the paper. He goes, "Oh yeah, oh my god, oh my god." He goes. Again? I go again?
God.
What? You're right. You're right.
Way.
I'm like, "What do you mean again?" And he goes, "I'll tell you later." And then he takes the boys into the office, and I'm just sitting there, you know, like with a moment to gather my thoughts. And I'm just like, oh my, that's like when it all came to a realization, like, that's why they're not allowed to go get dressed together. They have to go, you know,
separately.
Because
the routine is imperative.
Yes. They fuck, Christine. They fuck.
God.
And I went over.
Oh my God.
I thought I was so smart, and I was so dumb. So
What did
that's
Patty
it.
say? I mean, you must have talked to her about it.
Oh, I was fired immediately. I never saw any of those people again.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's one thing to be incompetent, but then it's one thing to let that happen.
They fired you?
Yeah.
Oh, but that doesn't seem fair. I mean, if they were heading down to swim class with Dan, why wasn't Dan the one in trouble?
Well, you know, I don't know.
If Patty wasn't there, what could your recourse have been? You could not let 30 people down.
You're right, and I appreciate you defending me. Honestly, they might have fired Dan too. I don't know.
Wow.
I was dismissed. Not from LA Unified School District. They were perfectly happy to let me keep working there.
Your heart was beating.
Yeah, they didn't care. But I was relieved from the assignment. So
did you ever teach special ed again?
Yeah, but only on a one-off day.
Yeah.
And I never was invited back to Birmingham High School. So
I thought, was it Birmingham High School or was it Balboa?
it was Birmingham.
I see.
Yeah,
Birmingham.
I said Balboa. You were listening.
I
Thank
fact
you.
check a little later on.
You don't send your daughter there.
No, I don't think I'll do that. Wow. And then how long did you teach altogether?
4 years.
Do you have to keep getting like recertified or something for that?
No, not for being a sub. Yeah, no.
For LAUSD, but you are saying I'll go anywhere in LA County?
No. Yeah. Oh, LA Unified is not all of LA County.
Oh, I see.
It's LA Unified. It's big.
It's big.
It's big.
And so, did you have good gigs too? Though you had good gigs,
Great gigs. Yeah. That was a good gig until I fucked it up. You know.
Oh my God.
I also took one of my triumphs from that class was taking 16 disabled people to the Getty Center using public transportation, which I succeeded at.
God.
And I got my confidence too high, and then I screwed up.
How many chaperones? Did you have any other chaperones? On
Yeah.
that? You had to.
Now, the day that happened, that incident happened, is because a lot of the people were out, and I was very overwhelmed. And
obviously.
I just said, go. You know what I mean?
But it does seem safe to send two people down the hallway to another teacher.
Yeah.
You weren't saying just go out on the playground, and you did send them into the locker room. This could have even happened earlier.
Yeah. They might have. They might have before and after.
Yeah, that they just had no concern to what people thought.
No, they don't. That's that's their advantage, I think.
Yeah, I think that would be an advantage because they're always happy. You always think you're having a great day.
Yeah, well, they're not always happy, but they experience intense happiness and carefreeness. I think they feel things really intensely.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think they feel intense betrayal and intense everything. You know what I mean? Intense love. Yeah, the whole thing.
In a pool. Wow, that is a wild story, man.
Yeah.
That is like you could never have pictured it.
No.
Like I kept thinking somebody got hurt or there was blood or somebody pooped in the pool. I kept thinking that.
Yeah.
Then I got to drain the
that would have
pool.
been a vacation. No.
Well, yeah, because they had to evacuate the pool when somebody's in there and then they didn't stop.
They didn't stop. They wouldn't stop.
Have you had any
Intense.
other crazy jobs in LA?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I owned a moving company.
Yeah, the moving company, but that sounds pretty legitimate. I mean,
it was
sounded
legitimate.
like a good thing.
But like, we moved all kinds of people.
Did you have a lot of good employees or transient employees? Because it always seems like one of those industries that can be...
Very good question. Yeah, both.
Did you have... Because obviously people can damage things. You have to have insurance. You have to have everything.
It's a horrible industry. And I'm so happy to be out of it. It was very stressful.
I bet it was.
And I got a lot came down on me. Like for instance, here's just one that happened. In 2016, we moved Brian Wilson's ex-girlfriend. He's the closer from the Dodgers, the Fear the Beard. Brian Wilson
Wow.
from the World I don't know if they won no, they didn't win the World Series when they had, but they went far with him.
Baseball player, yeah.
Yeah. And he, what did he do? Oh, well, his girlfriend, they were breaking up or whatever, and one of my guys broke her $1,500 amethyst stone because he didn't fucking, wrap it up correctly, and you have to then just pay for that. You know what I mean?
You have insurance.
You have insurance,
still,
but
there's a deductible.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you move somebody in a house, what is your system? Because I have moved a couple of times in my life, and I've seen movers, and I've seen their system, and I want to know if your
question.
system is the system that I know movers do.
Okay, very good.
Tell
All
me
right.
your system.
Well, let's look at your apartment that you have right now, which I love. We walk in here, and even though you're not even packed, this is a low anxiety move.
Yeah.
Okay, because you got sectioned off. It's not messy. It's good. We didn't pack, so you had to pack your own
pack
boxes.
your boxes.
Box wall, and then everything that's flat to hold the box wall in. So then you go mattresses to hold up the box wall. If there's tabletops that detach from the legs, then you do that.
Picture frames, big
frames.
ones.
You slide all that stuff into the flat, and then the more awkward and angular the pieces get, those get closer to the edge. They have the less priority. They come at the end
in the truck, or do you mean
inside the truck?
The loading?
As you're loading, yeah.
So
Yeah,
the place that I recently, it was 8 years ago, but when I moved last, I found it fascinating that they moved from the back of the apartment to the front. So even if there's these tables and chairs and stuff here in the living room, they would not take these pieces out first, even though it's so close to the door. They would start in the back bedroom and go back forward. Like that was the sweep. From the back, or it was a 2-story apartment. So it was like they went to the top floor in the back of the apartment.
Were those bedrooms?
And there were 2 bedrooms.
Well, the bedrooms have the beds, and those are going to go on the truck sooner.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because you do the box wall, the mattresses go in next, and the box springs, and then the bed frames. And that's usually in the back because it's just by default. You don't walk into someone's bedroom. You walk into the living room, and the bedroom's in the back.
Yeah. Moving is such a high anxiety thing anyway.
Huge.
Because you don't do it that often in your life. Most people, you know what I mean? So it's automatic. And even if you pack up the boxes, and even if you have everything ready to go, there's still anxiety on every side of it. And it's still a ton of work, even if you hire movers, unless you hire the kind of movers that, like, you walk in here and you take out every knife and every spoon and every towel.
Yeah.
That's a whole different situation.
It is.
But I'm talking, most people hire a mover just to do the literal heavy lifting, moving.
Right.
And then you get back to your apartment and everything's fucked again. Or, you get your new place and you got to do it all.
Yeah, you set everything up on your own. Yeah, we dabble a little bit in packing and stuff, but it's the amount of calls I would get. People would be like, "Where's my?" It's like, you haven't even unpacked. You go over there, and it's like, I'm like, ma'am, you have not unpacked any of your boxes. Once everything is unpacked, if you still can't find the remote for your fucking DVR, then you can blame someone for stealing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, God. So that was out of the question. It's
Yeah.
like the packing's on you.
Well, I'm glad you got out of that business.
Yeah, it was really hard. But at the same time, if it wasn't for doing that, I would never have gotten that original space for the
That's
fourth
so
wall
interesting.
studio.
Yeah,
So,
how when you look back, you see the connection and why things go the way they do.
Yeah.
I know.
but
know.
no, but I
Still
appreciate
it's
that.
so hard. Yeah. Well, you're a real businessman. You are. You have a lot of energy. You're a businessman.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a comic, but you're also a businessman.
Big time.
You're definitely not a teacher.
No,
I'm teasing.
I'm not.
You're a
I don't have the
teacher,
patience
but
for
I'm
that.
not allowing you with. I'm just saying. I don't need any babysitting. That's all I'm saying.
I don't blame you.
No, you're damn funny, and I'm really happy I met you. Like I said, and I'm
Likewise,
super
Blackburn.
happy to find Fourth Wall Comedy, and that opportunity is really
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
super fun. I don't know if we mentioned to people, but the idea of making money there is that people pay $5 for 5 minutes.
You're paying for the time and the audience, and just you get out of it. What you get
How
out
come
of it.
people can't do 2 5s in a row? I guess it's too much.
One spot per person per.
Like if I did 2 5s back to back, I do 10 minutes because then you can't get as many people in the room.
Well, yeah, it limits you could probably get away with doing one golden spot that's like a 10-minute, but that's something we could experiment with.
Well, wait, you do the 15s on Saturday, right?
The 15s, and then we got the bomb shelter at the Koreatown studio. You could do a 10-minute tonight if you wanted to.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with that one either.
Dude, there's a good contingent of ladies that show up there for
That's
that.
nice, yeah.
I think you might even know. Do you know Tammy Tavares and
No, I
Joanne
don't.
Scorsha?
I don't.
They're down there a lot.
It blows my mind
Yeah.
how many people I haven't met in this town. Like, I know a lot of people.
You'd love
but then,
them, I think.
But then then I see a whole new group of people that
Yeah.
I never met before, and I'm like, oh my god. I do love that though about LA. I like that there's just a lot of creativity,
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
creative people, and if you don't like those people, well, you'll fit in over there.
Yeah.
And so, folks, if you want to come out here and do comedy, you should come out and go to Fourth Wall Comedy.
Love that.
And
yeah.
you need to take a vacation. Where do you want to go?
Oh man, maybe Mexico or Florida.
Yeah.
Or maybe even upstate New York. I like to fish, so.
Oh, yeah.
As you might know, but
Fly fishing, right?
no, I'm a surf fisherman. I fish at the beach.
Oh, do
Yeah.
you surf off the piers or just off the?
Well,
coast?
you know, I go right off the coast. I like to be in the sand.
You must have a huge rod, as it were. I'm just saying, it's one
It's
of those.
long. It is
It has
long.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
And what's the girth like?
Oh my God.
No,
that's
but I love fishing. I dated a fisherman for a while,
Yeah.
and what I liked about it is exciting about like you never know.
yeah, especially in the ocean, you really don't know.
So fun, and
yeah.
I've been up to Seattle and Whidbey Island up there in those islands, and you go out on a canoe and you drop these crab, like a crab catcher,
Yeah.
and you just drop it, and then you put like a chicken bone in there or something, tie it in there. The crabs come in, they can't get out.
That's great. Yeah.
And then you pull them up into your boat, and you don't know what's coming into your
You
boat.
have, it's every cast,
it's
every.
so fun.
No, yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement around fishing. I mean, but it's like very personal.
Oh yeah, it's
Obviously.
a mental getaway. You know
It's
what I
a
mean?
mental getaway.
But you're right. I do need to take a vacation,
I think you should go somewhere colder or somewhere that's not as perfect as here, because I don't think you realize how. I mean, obviously you know, but I mean, man, we're so lucky to live here.
I
man.
agree with you.
Yeah. So maybe go to. Have you been to Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have. I did Second City rehearsals there before I fucking got shipped out. But
That's a good city for comedy as well.
it is. Yeah.
And it's so walkable. I love that city.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chicago's awesome. Very low stress. The public transportation.
Yeah, the public transportation, all that. Everybody says that, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. All right, you guys, we got to wrap it up. I want to thank you so much again for tuning in today. Find Joe over there on Instagram, like I said, at Fourth Wall TV, and you can follow me over there as well at Storyworthy. And don't forget to join me on Twitter, because that's my bag. I love Twitter. All right, you guys, one more time on behalf of the very talented Joe Manente. My name is Christine Blackburn, saying, make it a Storyworthy week.
Thanks for joining us on the Storyworthy podcast. We'll be back next week with all new stories. Subscribe to Storyworthy on iTunes and visit the Storyworthy website at storyworthypodcast.com.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, we could try to fill the remaining time with awkward pauses. It's often done for comedic effect. Is it working? I can't tell if this is funny. Maybe this is so bad it's funny. Wow, we really peaked at the save big when you switched to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Membership fees apply after free trial. Cancel anytime.
Hi, it's Carl Deichler, CEO of Beachbody, and I'm giving away 10,000 free memberships a week to try our amazing Beachbody fitness and nutrition programs. Pick any program and just follow it step by step, like our 21-day fix program or the ab shredding muscle burns fat program. Plus, there's free support in personalized fitness groups with our community of over 2 million members. Now is the time, so don't wait. Go to beachbody.com to claim your free membership and start feeling great.
With Kroger brand products from Baker's, you can make all your favorite things this holiday season. Because Kroger brand's proven quality products come at exceptionally low prices. And with a money-back quality guarantee, every dish is sure to be a favorite.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Whether you shop delivery, pickup, or in-store, Kroger brand has all your favorite things. Baker's, fresh for everyone.